Okay, so here we go with my review for the G.I. Joe Cobra Frag Viper. This figure was originally released in 1988, I believe. And what the Frag Viper was he was a grenade thrower, so that's what his specialty was in the Viper squad. If we zoom in here, at the file card here, you can actually see it says Frag Viper Cobra Grenade Thrower. So yeah, that's basically what he did, or what his role was. I'm going to go ahead and read a bit from the file card here. So let's pull this up. This will kind of explain how he worked. But it says here, an integral part of the Cobra Viper fire team, the Frag Viper can toss high explosive fragmentation grenades with all the range and accuracy of an M79 or M203 RPGL, but without the noise from the muzzle blast. The secret lies in the manual hurling basket based on the cesta used in the Basque sport of Jai Alai. The Frag Viper cesta is equipped with automatic feed and variable time fuser with a cable linked to the helmet's automatic rangefinder. So let's put this back here. And if we zoom in here a bit more, we'll look at some of the detail here. So yeah, this is a pretty unique looking figure. The helmet there kind of gives him sort of like an alien look, or almost like the Predator. As far as the paint scheme goes, it's not quite as detailed as some of the other G.I. Joe figures you can see, but I actually kind of like it. It's a kind of clean, sort of simple paint scheme. You can see there he's got a little gun, pistol molded in there, and if you look down here, he's got a little like dagger molded in there. It's kind of funky kind of color scheme too, because he's kind of like a little like caramel, kind of a brownish there with like almost a teal blue. And let me pan down here a little bit, and we'll zoom out and look. And he's got comes with this little submachine gun here, and based on what we just read on the file card, let's look at his actual specialty weapon system here. This hose here is supposed to represent the communication cable. What this was his rangefinder visor, so then he could pre-program the bombs in here, when to detonate or whatever, or set timers for them. And his backpack here, if you can kind of look in there and see, it's kind of got grenades all inside of it. So the grenades would get fed through this tube here to that basket, the throwing basket, which was, you know, modeled after that Spanish like handball sport. And then he would, you know, throw the grenades, and that would propel them down downrange. And it also has a little like machine gun on the top here. So yeah, I think that's kind of a cool concept that they kind of based this off of a real life sport. If you've ever seen Tron, the original Tron, or the opening credits to Miami Vice, you'll actually kind of see that they use this same thing. I know in Tron, one of the games basically used the same concept of the Spanish handball thing there. And in the Miami Vice credits, you can actually see some real life footage of somebody throwing the ball with one of those little baskets on their hand. The other thing here is, we look back at the backpack. He does have 2 grenades here. These actually peg on, so you can pop them off. He actually comes with 3 grenades though. The bad thing is this grenade doesn't actually peg on anywhere, at least nowhere that I can see. But you could put it in his little hand basket here, and then, you know, you could have him like chuck it or throw it or whatever you want to do. Bad thing with that is, if you know you were a kid back in the day, you probably would end up losing that thing, so you'd be short a grenade. But I got this guy, and he came complete with all 3 grenades and his, you know, gun and file card and all his hoses and things. Let's do a quick little size comparison here. I'll bring in Destro, and you can see that he's typical G.I. Joe character height. So yeah, nothing special there. As far as the articulation goes on this guy, again, typical for the time of the 80s there with the G.I. Joe figures. He swivels around the shoulder 360 degrees, around the elbow, the Kung Fu grip, pivots in and out. This rotates 360 degrees. The wrists and hands don't rotate at all. The legs spin here at the hip, up and down, and kind of go in and out. The knee bends, just, you know, up and down. Ankle doesn't bend or anything like that. The waist can turn, and the head can usually swivel around on this little like ball joint or socket. So yeah, I'd say that's a pretty nice figure. It's pretty unique. I like the ideal behind them. I like the style of them. So yeah, if you're into getting G.I. Joes or vintage G.I. Joe figures, I'd say pick this guy up. He's a nice addition to have to your collection, or to your Cobra Viper collection if it were. So yeah, that's basically my review of the G.I. Joe Cobra Frag Viper.